All right, so we're just going to dive right in. This is our candling on day 14 of our current hatch. We're going to start with our blue eggs. This one is not fertilized at all, so she didn't even start. You can just see how that egg just glows right up, like the whole thing. You can see the yolk, so it didn't even start fertilizing. This next one, I'll turn it here in a second, and you can see the air sac. So good, healthy air sac. You okay, buddy? Yeah. So that one's good. And I have a pencil there. I'm just marking the blue eggs because they all look the same, so I don't want to have to redo them. This one also looked good. You can actually see the shadow of the chicken there. Babe. That one was also good. I didn't even turn it so you guys could see the air sac, but I put it back in the incubator. So here's another of the blue eggs just completely lighting up. No fertilization. You can see the yolk floating in there. So I only had 5 of the blue eggs in, so we were good with 3 on those. All right, next we're going to start the hatchery eggs, the black copper Marans hatchery eggs. Here you can see that black dot is the eye started to form, which is the first thing that you would see in an egg, but it did not continue. This one looks good. You can tell the dry hatch did its job, like giving it a larger air sac. I do wiggle the eggs a little bit just to see if they move on their own inside the egg. This one you can really see that air sac. That's a huge air sac. I know this one looks funny, but I did see some movement. I mean, you can see the shadow of the chicken there. Oh, did you see a little bit of movement right there? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. All right, and this chick definitely was moving. Yeah, right there. Yep. So cool. Guys, I loved this egg so much. It just glows right up. Here's another one where the eye started and it just stopped developing. And another one, a little bit of an eye. This guy was good. You can really see that chicken there. Now you always hear that BCM eggs are really hard to candle. These were not super dark eggs, so I wasn't having a hard time. This one did not even fertilize. It didn't start. It just glowed right up. Here's another good one. I'm just checking movement again. And a non-starter, just a dud. All right, now I think it's time for our eggs. Hyping myself up. And disappointment. This is Marans' egg and nothing, just a dud. Here's another one of her eggs. This one I'm not sure about. It just, you can see the shadow of the chick. Her eggs aren't crazy dark. But when you move it, it's more sloshy back and forth. Like it doesn't seem to have its more independent movements, like if it was a live chicken there. So I'm not sure on that one. This did happen in our previous hatch, and I decided to leave one of my maybe eggs in, and it did end up hatching, so it was fine. So who knows? Maybe that baby's sleeping. But I marked it with a question mark just so I can check it again when I do lockdown. This one is Princess Isabel's. And at first, to you guys, it looks like it just glowed right up. But at the top, you can see the shadow of the chick. And Princess Isabel's eggs are super dark. So I did see a chick moving in there for sure. It doesn't show up on camera though. It wasn't too bad. We ended up with maybe 2 of our own, 6 of the hatchery eggs, and then 3 of the Easter eggers, which are coming from my Americana. I'm just calling them Easter eggers because the roosters that they were with kind of overlap, so I don't know what those chicks are going to have genetically wise or what they're going to lay. So our incubator looks so empty now. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We only have 11 eggs in the incubator. Here I am discussing with Joey, counting the eggs. So only 11 incubators, or excuse me, 11 eggs in the incubator with 22 spots. So looks like a ghost town in there, but that's okay. Hopefully all hatch. As I dismantle my very fancy camera for candling, I do want to touch on that I think the dry hatch for this incubation is working. I do see larger air sacs in the eggs, and I think for shipped eggs, from everything that I've read, a 50% so far with our shipped eggs seems pretty good. So I'm going to say yes, our dry hatch is successful so far. The other eggs that were just duds, non-starters, that were from our farm, that I think has more to do with the environment that I put my chickens and the rooster in. They were they were inside the barn. They weren't happy outside like they are now. And they had just all gotten thrown in together. So there's a lot of changes. And I think that's why some of them weren't fertilized. Um, so dry hatch, I think, is good for these BCMs, but of course we will check on hatching day. I'm just doing some chicken chores in preparation for new chicks coming in at the end of this week, and then our next hatch, which will be the following week. They're not happy with me because I'm interrupting their space, but so they did have the full run of this brooder, but I have now split it in half with this, just repurposing a chicken rabbit cage. So that is now their separation, and we'll have the new chicks in here, and they've got cute little feeders and waterers, because these guys will be a month old in just a few days, and they're growing so fast. They have so many feathers, and pretty soon we'll be able to move them to a different area completely, and we'll see what the weather is. They'll have a light if they need it, but for For now, the new chicks will be in here. So we just freshened up the bedding with a little bit more pine flakes, which I accidentally got the larger flakes. I like to use the smaller ones because it's easier for them to scratch it and move it down to the bottom for our deep litter method. We also add lime to freshen it up just for sanitation. This lamp is pretty dusty from the other chicks, so I'll turn that off so it can cool off and I can clean it. There you go. I'm gonna close up this brooder so they can relax a little bit and get used to their new apartment.